better to maybe save some tires because I might wonder if we can use lead on board and look on the driver's further back here tonight because once he dumps out a little bit of the next caution should have tires on the road, this is number 6 come out, he will be quite a bit of time. And so now every one of these drivers has gone off their road and we have
it's going to be a blast, and my gosh, can we not wait for that one.
And welcome to 3Y TV. And tonight we're here for some OSCA Truck Series action here at the Milwaukee Mile. And I'm your host, Mike Goodman. Along with me, as always, is Carlos Acosta behind the controls here. And I can't believe it's over 150 here for the OSCA Truck Series as we are going to crown a champion tonight. It'll be all settled. We 275 lap halves here at the mile track here at the Wisconsin State Fairgrounds. 4 drivers, and they're right now in practice in the top 4. And that is going to be Blake Barney in the 00, Matthew Bayak in the 29, and Johnny Eckert in the 90, and Kevin White Jr. in the 38 machine. Those are the top 4 in practice. Those are the guys that are going to be battling it out here to see who's going to be crowned OSCA Season 2 champion. You see there the guys in the green. Those are the guys that are duking it out. See that I'm not lying that they are in the top 4. You go through the rest as they wind down practice. About 3 minutes left in practice. They see get their final preparations in. We'll see if we can see a champion take away the victories here today, or maybe we'll see some spoilers, some guys that want to end the season on a high note. We mentioned last week Vic Bloom going to be stepping out of the truck and into the control tower, taking on a more full-time role behind the scenes, and guys that in the top 10 that have been struggling a little bit here. Dustin Dewar in that 21 machine in 7th place right now in practice. He's looking to cap it off in style here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile. And again, another guy that had bad luck last week, David Westergreen, was in a position to be in the top 4, and that untimely accident got him out of the championship battle. And now we'll try to play spoiler here tonight for 75 laps, 2 halves. Top 4 will invert in the second half, and the way things are looking now, it could be the championship 4, so it could play a pretty big role in how our champion is decided. So again, a lot of things to play out here. We'll have to see who will be crowned champion here tonight. We'll settle it all out. Oh boy, I might have to do some math here as well to see if we can figure it along here at home to see who can take away the trophy for Season 2 here at the Milwaukee Mile for the OSCA Truck Series. Yeah, I see all the scary numbers. Don't want to see that. I know it's a flat track, pretty similar if you're unfamiliar with the Milwaukee Mile. One of the oldest speedways in America. Doesn't see too much racing action as it used to. Still runs some late models and stuff like that. NASCAR, IndyCar went there for many years, but did not pan out for them. But yeah, very similar to if you know, familiar with New Hampshire Motor Speedway, pretty similar style track, flat 1 mile oval. So being throttle control is going to be key here tonight to take away the victory, and I think we have 4 of the best drivers here tonight that are going to settle it out here for championship. Blake Barney right now on top of the speed charts again. Can he go 2 in a row? We talked last week with a big storyline was the storyline last week was ID Racing. Can they, they finally came back into their dominant form that we seen a season ago, and they picked up both stage or half wins, and of course also getting Blake Barney into that championship for here tonight. And Johnny Eckert, the guy coming into the playoffs and even starting the playoffs out, was one of the most dominant drivers, and now he's going to be battling here for our championship. And now we're going to get ready to go qualifying here for, I can't believe it's over, 150. See cars going out on track. Matthew Bayak going to be taking his laps here. Ooh, riding on board. Right on board that 29 machine, taking his laps around. Gonna want to have a good starting spot. And only the top 4 inverting here tonight. To see who's going to be determined to be champion. Could play a huge factor. Ooh, we see Bayak getting a little loose out of the corner there. Screws up his lap. Let's see where he's settled out in. My timing and scoring is not maybe working properly. Now we see Adam Tepe out on track. Getting his laps underway. Oh, there we go. Now people are actually taking laps. That's why. As you see Dallas Mahan taking the early best lap. Adam Tepe, you see his lap 3rd fastest on the speed charts as we speak right now. Oh, and there's my boy. Is that my boy? Oh, it was my boy for a second. The 55 of Brandon. Give me $1. And Thomas Capuano getting his 2nd lap in here as well. They selling out. Johnny Eckert currently moves up to the top of the leaderboard. Again, another championship contender, Kevin White Jr. is in 2nd. '73 of Kynan Jones. The 3-wide television machine. Carlos, that's got to be a car near and dear to your heart. Hopefully, I think you're secretly rooting for him. Might be biased there a little bit. And is that... Who's the number it car? That's interesting. That's Robert Hill Jr. Okay, his car looks pretty similar to how it has been, but its number is it's interesting. Johnny Eckert already doing a pole dance there. Oh man, that didn't sound right, but currently sitting on the pole, in the pole position. Dylan Gooden getting 3rd on the speed chart, seeing if he can best that lap here on lap number 2. We settle, see where these guys can qualify in the championship. For Johnny Eckert 1st, Kevin White Jr. in 2nd. Matthew Bayak's going to be all the way back in 14th. I don't know if Blake Barney, did he take a lap yet? He did not. That's why I don't have Blake Barney's lap time yet. Got about a minute left here in qualifying. So if Barney, and it looks like Barney has reached the track now. Ooh, Marbella getting a little loose there out of the corner. Again, a guy who's dominated much of the regular season. Unable to get into that championship 4. Hey, you got to give him an effort for trying to complete that lap. Ooh, Blake Barney moves up into the 4th position. So Bayak's going to be the guy on the, got a long way to go being back there in 15th. As qualifying is wrapping up and we'll get underway. He's got one more lap, see if he can get it in time. He does. Is he going to improve? He'll move up into the 3rd spot. So you have 3 of the top 4 championship contenders here tonight are going to be starting in the top 3. And you sure those 3, even Matthew back in 15th, they'll be slaying demons in heaven to try to get wins here tonight. See if they can come out on top. As we'll go through the starting grid here for the I Can't Believe It's Over 150. On the pole position is the 90 of Johnny Eckert. And Championship 4 contender starting in second will be Kevin White Jr. in the 38. In row 2 is Blake Barney in the 00. And alongside him will be Dylan Gooden. Starting in fifth position will be Dennis Weeks Jr. Alongside him, Dallas Wears My Hand. In seventh spot will be Adam Tepe, and alongside him will be Vincent Isabella in the 42 machine. Starting in ninth position will be Dustin Dragon Dewar in the 21, and Robert Hill Jr. He'll be starting 10th in the ITS machine. In the 11th position will be David Westergreen, looking to turn his luck around ever since he got that win at Talladega. He's been having some rough luck. And Kynan Jones was starting alongside him in that 12th spot. All right, next up will be in 13th will be Vic Bloom in the 99. Thomas Capuano will start 14th in the 60 car. Matthew Bayak championship. He's got a long way to go for a championship contender here. He'll be starting 15th, trying to look his way to get up to the front. 16th spot will be Brandon Give Me a Dollar. Starting in 16th in that 55, Nicholas Monticelli, maybe busting through tables like the Bills Mafia in that 27 machine. Riley Maravello starting 18th, looking to turn that playoff drought around here, trying to end the season on a high note. He'll be starting the 18th spot. 19th, Shane DiMantova won last week. He's got a long way to go if he's going to do that again here tonight. Kyle Walgren will be alongside him. That beautiful Brewers machine in the 36 car. I believe the field is rolling, and that's all 20 cars we got out on the speedway here. Or the racetrack, I should say. As the field's getting going, if you're following along here in the live YouTube chat, I just got a understanding more of what the ITS number is. It says when Robert Hill registered, he put his 3 number choices as 05, It's Mine, or It's and Mine. Oops, and I have the volume up. And Vic said, what number, if your number was ITS, so it is. So that's the story behind that. So we got a little clarity there behind the ITS car. So that's a pretty fun way to end the season here. As we're going to see the pace car dive off, we're ready to go green flag racing. Again, they'll be slaying demons in heaven here tonight at the Milwaukee Mile as Johnny Eckert's going to lead him down in the turn number 1. But hey, how about Kevin White on that outside, trying to get a good run coming on at 2. They're going to be side by side drag racing down the backstretch. There's downshifting here I'm hearing here tonight as well. So that's another factor that's going to come into play. As you see Blake Barney, he's going to throw himself into that mix as well for that top spot. These 3 guys are battling. Oh, and there's a caution on the speedway. And oh, man. Looks like the 21 of Dustin Dewar, and I believe that's Dallas Myhand there in the 41 involved as well. 2 guys that really needed a good run here to end their season on a strong note. Not going to happen here tonight. We'll see. Take a look at what happened. Maybe some contact. Almost 2 separate incidents. It looks like contact between the 42 and the 41, and it appeared that the 21 of Dustin Dewar kind of lost it all by himself. Take another look here from the 41, and no contact, just both those guys. Carlos says too much beans, and into the water barrels there. Here's a look at Dustin Dewar kind of maybe going a little lower in the track than he wanted to. It's going to be slick down there, and if you get a little too much throttle, around she goes. And a little bit of damage on both those machines, but should be okay to continue throughout the night here. Johnny Eckert holding on to lead. Couple cars we'll see down pit road. See the 55 of Brandon Give Me a Dollar, the Dragon, the Jamaican bobsled. All diving down pit road, getting service done here. See if they can get back out and get into contention. It's only a couple laps into this event here. Top 3 points contenders. We're in 1, 2, 3. Matthew Bayak, I don't know if he moved up maybe a couple spots. Oh, worked his way up into 9th place, so he's trying to get on the charge, but still a long way to go, and hopefully can get into that top 4 to maybe get in position to get in that invert. Get ready to go 1 lap to green here. We'll be on lap number 5 of 75 here in half number 1. Pace car will be ready to dive off here. We'll go back to green flag racing here in the I can't believe it's over 150 here at the Milwaukee Mile. 3 of our top 4 championship contenders starting up front. Should be exciting. Matthew back again. Keep a note in that 9th spot. See that red car a couple rows back. And whoa, what a good start there for the 90 machine. He's going to get a good run. Maybe even Barney spun the tire. Kevin White spun the tires there just a little bit. He's going to fall back a couple spots. Or not spot, but really got a good start there for Eckert. He's going to pull away by a couple car lengths side by side. That battle for second position between Barney and White. Looks like Barney's going to drive on the inside, but a good run coming off the corner for White, and see if they're drag race down to turn 1, but I think it's going to be a little bit too much for that 38 to contend. Move Barney up into that 2nd spot. Look back. Ooh, that 27 Monticelli looks like he's running a little wide up the track. Back, this is the battle around that 12th position. Battling up right here now towards the top 10. David Westergreen and Vic Bloom. Got 2 guys wanting to end this season out on a strong note. Back up front, Johnny Eckert pulling out to almost a 1-second lead over that 00 of Blake Barney. Still that battle's going on strong. Kevin White's trying to get into that 2nd position. Matthew Bayak's moving up into that 7th spot. He's about 3 seconds back and a lot of traffic to get through yet. You know, I think for him to at least try to get to that 4th position, still a long way to go very early on going into this race. See if he can save his tires just enough to get in that transfer spot. We see the ITS machine there and the 97 of Dennis Weeks. There it is. Get it? Everything's great. Ready to race. That's the motto on the tailgate of that ITS truck. And he is racing goods, currently scored in the 6th position. It's right now single file. Everyone's binding their P's and Q's, trying to save those tires. And I'm sure green flag pit stops are going to be a thing here. So we'll have to keep a note on when these guys are going to be coming down pit road to get their service completed. Johnny Eckert's having no issues right now. He's a guy, he can have that speed. We've seen this back at Watkins Glen. He can pull away, still save as much fuel, and want to be one of the last ones to pit. See if he can do that again today, or maybe these guys here, Barney and White, trying to save their stuff a little bit. You don't want to run each other too hard where you're going to let Eckert, who's already pulling away nonetheless, pull away too much farther. As we ride on board that 38 machine, you can see how big of a lead that purple number 90 machine is. Almost half a corner ahead. about 2 seconds translated on this racetrack. Ooh, looks like White drove in just a little too deep, and Barney's going to gap him quite a bit. Lost a lot of time going in the corner there, and doing stuff like that can burn those tires up and wear them out. And how about championship contender Matthew Bayak? Started all the way back in 15th, already worked himself up into the 6th position, but knocking on the door now to that 97, taking a peek to the outside, coming out of 2. See if he can get it done. Oh, he's almost just 2 spots away to getting in that top 4, so we could possibly see the top 4 inverting here. And what a story it would be from starting all the way back in the field, putting himself right in the mix as the top 3 currently on track, qualified up in the top 3. Back on the inside of Weeks, it looks like he's going to get that position as they drag race down, see if he can get it done here going into 3. No matter how much shifting, and sometimes it's shifting and saving those tires. You don't want to burn the tires too much coming out of the corner, running higher RPMs. So Bayak's now clearing. Now he's going to try to chase down that 75 of Dylan Gooden. We are on lap 14 of 75, so still 60 laps to go here in half number 1. Long way to go. But Matthew Bayak making quick work of being on the outside looking in. He's gonna be in the mix, I think, in about no time here, as he appears to be one of the faster cars here on track. And see what, oh, now it looks like a car is going a lap down. I thought it was a battle for the lead there for a second. We take a look at the battle in the back of the pack. It looks like Nicholas Monticelli, I was going to say, oh, almost threw me off there. I think that's Shane Mantova. It looks like he's in the 34 truck, but he's going to be number 20 on the scoreboard. Monticelli blinks out for a second, but he's going to take over that spot, move him up into the 13th position. It's a good run so far for Monticelli, keeping his nose clean, as most drivers have, besides the 2 guys that are currently, it looks like they're out of the race, and that's Brandon Gimme a Dollar and the Dragon Doer. So the guys with nicknames, I guess, get the announcer's jinx here tonight. And Tepe washing up the track quite a bit. Looks like he's gonna kind of roll in the back of the pack here, maybe save his stuff up. And look at this, now in the top 4, Matthew Bayak, he's worked his way around Dylan Gooden. So now we have all championship 4 contenders here in the top 4. Working through some lap traffic. Actually, we do see Brandon Dollar back out on track along with Thomas Capiano right in front of our leader, Johnny Eckert, who's pulled that lead to over 2.5 seconds. And it looks like they're a little faster now, probably fresher tires. As you see, Capiano 4 laps down, Dollar 12 laps down, running 18th and 19th respectively. We're going to complete lap number 19 of 75 here. I can't believe it's over 150. These OSCA Truck Series seasons go by pretty quick, but we'll have another one starting up. I believe it's September 16th. It'll be at Bristol Dirt Race, so that'll be an interesting one to kick off season number 3 here of the OSCA Truck Series. But again, we still have a lot of action, a lot of stuff to be settled here tonight. As we are now completing lap 20. And I did get a message from the car number 21 of Dustin Dewar in his view of that wreck and how we thought it was 2 separate incidents that caused that last caution. From the note from the driver 21, he saw the 41 of Dallas Myhan starting to lose it just a little bit, got on the brakes a little too hard coming out of the corner and lost control of the machine, and that's where his night is now over, hitting that inside wall. I guess he's being scored 20th now, 20 laps down, and will be continued to rack those up as he's again off the track. So again, championship contenders first, second, third, and fourth. Eckert, Barney, White, and Bayak settling out here at the Milwaukee Mile. And seen White, you've seen a couple of those times, a couple of those laps when Kevin White was overdriving the corner just a little bit. Now he's falling in the clutches of Matthew Bayak. So again, a guy who started all the way back in 15th, he can be moving up into third in just a little bit. Let's see Brandon, give me a dollar, going another lap down in that 55 machine. See some damage on, well, that's the 41 who got in that incident earlier. And there is the Jamaican bobsled machine. And running in ninth, Vincent Isabella. Again, returning back into victory lane last week and here in the OSCA Truck Series. So now here's a battle for the 5th position. Dennis Weeks wants it. Dylan Gooden has it. A battle to watch here on track. But here also is that battle. See Matthew Bayak closing that gap on the 38 machine. So I think one of the faster guys besides Johnny Eckert, who's still just continuing to check out for the rest of the field. Kind of returning to that dominance he had, you know, right ending the regular season to cap off the playoffs. And once he was kind of locked into Milwaukee, I think he's taken a little bit easier than he normally would. And he's returned to that dominance that we're seeing so far here tonight, early on here in the going. But with these top 4 guys going to be inverting, could change a lot of things. These guys are going to race each other hard for sure, especially if they cannot chase down that 90 machine here before this race is complete. We have 50 laps to go here in half number 1. And it looks like that gap between the 38 and 29 maybe plateaued a little bit. If not, the 38, again, once again, maybe gapping him a little bit. Maybe he's closed that gap here quite a bit. So here we got the inner. Carlos has got it all. He's got it covered. That's, man. Oh, he goofed it. Here he goes on the inside. Bayak's looking, trying to take over that 3rd position, side by side, drag racing down the backstretch, going into turn 3. Matthew Bayak from 15th to now 3rd. Carlos made me say goof. I just got a note. He's making fun of me right now. You made me say it. It was in my ear and then it came out of my mouth. Stuff like that will happen. Carlos is almost like the angel and the devil on my shoulder, and whatever he says is probably what's going to come out of my mouth. I mean, maybe I'm his puppet. I don't know how it works out, but move Matthew Bayak into the 3rd spot. Kevin White Jr. I hope. You know, I'm sure Kevin knows what he did there. He overdrove the corner a little bit. He goofed. And he'll be all right. He's still holding on to that 4th spot, maybe mounting that charge back up again. You see their dollar also getting down that track position. A little bit of damage, I'm sure, to that truck, and not driving the best. But he's got a second half to end that season out on a strong note. And pulling away from those 2 guys is Blake Barney and Johnny Eckert. Man, almost 5 seconds. Over 4 3/4 of a second. Currently the field's spreading out single file quite a bit here, but I think once we get close to pit stops, things could get interesting. We see Alex Myhan coming down pit road. Coming off of pit road, I should say. Return to the track. He is now 1 lap down in 17th position. You know, these top 4 drivers are driving it to the max here. They're going to try to give it everything they have. Be the winner of the championship here tonight. Oh, getting a little loose out of the 73. Kind of Jones got off the corner. So watching this battle, he's going to try to chase down Adam Tepe for that 13th position. Nicholas Monticelli right ahead of him in that 27 machine. Running in 12th. As we're approaching halfway through the stage here. In a few more laps. Gotta wonder, when's the good time to pit? Do you short pit, try to gain track position? We've seen some of these damaged cars that came off pit road that were able to maintain that gap on the 90 of Johnny Eckert, so it could be beneficial to try to figure out that strategy of when do you pit. We know some guys maybe stretch it out a little, will stretch it out a little farther to try to make some magic happen. Maybe guys will short pit too to do the same. So now I try to see what that gap is between the 2 and the 20, or the doubles in second place, Blake Barney and Bayak. That gap's closing a little bit. But here right now, we might have a battle here for that 12th spot. Oh, Kynan Jones gets pushes off the corner there, almost gets into the wall. But Adam Tepe now on the back bumper of the 27 of Nicholas Monticelli. Looks like Monticelli there gets a little bit better drive out of the corner. Looks like he gapped him once again, but this has kind of been the rubber band. The battle of the race right now is between these two drivers for that 12th position. They're actually now 11th. Here a couple more cars came down pit road. Vincent Isabella and Kyle Walgren here have made their appearances to pit road. Adam Tepe looking on the inside. Oh, washing up. Nicholas Monticelli stays off the wall. He's going to fall back now into the 12th position. That was a close call there for the 27. I think you're getting to that point where, whereas as Carlos told me to say, or not told me to say, but made me say, is he goofed? Oh, Barney on pit road. He's the first one down pit road. He was running in second. He's going to be the one to short pit. Looks like he got in his box clean. Getting those fresh tires. He's going to try to win another championship for Big Kitty. Made many amazing calls last season to get him that championship. Can he win one for Big Kitty here tonight? We'll find out. But right now, Johnny Eckert, 7-second lead over that 29 of Matthew Bayak, who would have thought starting 15th he would be in this position this quickly in half number one, but here he is. And now you got to wonder with that 00 back out on track. He's running 13th, first car 1 lap down. He's going to be gaining a lot of track position, a lot of time. That might force some of these guys to come down pit road, but Johnny Eckert does have a little bit of a lead to play around with, even on that 00. That gap, I believe, was still around 6 to 7 seconds on Barney before he went down pit road. So maybe Eckert has a little bit more time to stretch it out, and it's going to be a battle of how long do you want those, how good do you want your tires to be, and how, if you could take advantage of them that late in the run. Don't want to shortchange yourself too few of laps where you can't use that good on those Goodyear Eagles. Matthew Bayak here, 7.5 seconds back, so still losing time on that 90 as he's been the class of the field here so far. Kevin White Jr. now 11 seconds back. Almost falling into the clutches here of the 75 of Dylan Gooden. Fastest lap of the race is going to be of that 00. So again, with those fresh tires, he's trying to now take as much advantage of those fresh tires as he can, and this is the time to do it. With Johnny Eckert and those other two, Bayak and White, your championship opponents are still out on track on the 39 lap old tires. And if I were the 38, I would be thinking about pitting here pretty quick. You're falling into the clutches of that 75 machine. You're looking at some of these guys that came down pit road. Dennis Weeks, he's going to be getting a good run here. He's going to be looking on the inside. These guys were battling right around him before they came down pit road. Oh, Bayak overdrives his pit box. Oh, no. That could be a big factor in this championship battle here. See, he's already fallen behind Barney on pit road, so Barney's used those fresh tires to get a lot of track position here. See, now he's trying to work around Monticelli and Jones. See, he just unlapped himself. So short pitting so far looks to be a pretty good option here. We'll see if it pays off once these pit cycles through. See, Matthew Bayak now came out in 12th, right there in front of the 42 of Vincent Isabella, who already made his pit stop. So you see how much track position Vincent Isabella gained, as Bayak was in 3rd position, but did slip through his pit box. But Isabella was running around that 9th, 10th position. And there you see Johnny Eckert, the 90, on pit road. And he will surrender the lead to Dylan Gooden. Robert Hill Jr. now running 2nd, and David Westergreen in 3rd. And Blake Barney will take the lead out of the guys that were running up front. But remember, now Johnny Eckert will have the freshest tires out on the track. Let's see if he can chase down that 00. And it looks like the pace that he's been setting so far here tonight. He's gonna. Oh, we see a car loose. Oh, are we gonna get a caution? I think they're able to save it. That was 99 of Vic Bloom, almost losing it twice. Able to save it. What a save for the 99 to keep it going. You see some damage also on his machine. Both those OSCA leaders there. The founders of OSCA having a little bit of damage here. But a good move by Vic Bloom to keep the race under green, as we'll take a peek on what just happened to that 99. And I think, again, just a little too much beans. We'll head straight for those water barrels. No! Head straight for the wall. Gasses it up. Oh, yeah, but oh, am I going to go back on the track? Nope. Saved it. Gonna keep on going. It almost should have been a caution. I've seen certain tracks have different caution models, and I swear sometimes it seems like it would have been caution on some tracks. As you see, ooh, Robert Hill Jr. coming down pit road, almost getting into the water barrels. But as you've seen right before we seen this, its car coming down pit road, Johnny Eckert was able to get around Blake Barney, so he's going to move into 2nd. And once we see Dylan Gooden going down pit road, which we see him do now, that will give the lead back to the 90 car. Truck, I should say. So move Johnny Eckert back into 1st place once. He's going to get by him. There you see the purple machine and the red machine just go by. And they're going to take over the top 2 spots. And man, oh man. Fresher tires now up in front. He was fastest truck on the racetrack. And you see it's still going to be the top 4. Back still holds on to that 3rd spot. Kynan Jones, I believe he's going to be down pit road here as well, as he's fallen back into the 5th position. As Kevin White Jr. moves up there. Right now, Johnny Eckert having a 1.7 second lead. Well, now getting almost to a 2-second lead, is gapping him pretty big here. Over Blake Barney, Matthew Bax almost 9.5 seconds behind the 90 truck, and Kevin White Jr. a little over 13 seconds. But yeah, Vincent Isabella short pitting so far has worked, as we are now on lap 48 of 75. See how that works out for Vincent Isabella once it comes up running. I believe right around that 9th position. See, he does surrender that 5th spot to Dennis Weeks Jr. on a little bit fresher tires. But you see the fresher tires able to stay out a little bit longer. Now that gap between the 00 and the 90 machine growing larger by the second, quite a bit faster. And I think for Blake Barney, it was his only move to try to short pit. Probably ran pretty hard to try to close that gap, as he did get to lead a couple laps, get some points, bonus points, or believe maybe even just this might even be the, I don't know if they do it the same way NASCAR is. I can't remember now. Bad studying before the race here. If it just goes by average finishing order for this final race, or if that 1 lap points lead will factor into the championship as well. Let's see Dylan Gooden in that 7th spot, going to be chasing down the 42 of Vincent Isabella, probably in a couple laps, as Vincent is going to be on quite a bit older tires. You see some guys who's had some tough luck, almost making contact. Look like that's my hand of Marabella, as they're going to be battling out for the 8th spot. But here we go. Dylan Gooden's looking on the inside of that 42. Move him up, and yeah, not much Vincent can do but watch that 75 go by on those used up tires. He's even got to give up a position, or at least a spot on the racetrack, not for position, to that 60 machine of Thomas Capuano, as he is on a little bit fresher tires as well. Capuano currently running 18th, 5 laps down. So ID Racing not having as dominant a night as they did last week at Michigan. But I think if we talk to ID Racing, I think they would tell you that the only guy they care about here tonight for ID Racing is going to be that 00 of Blake Barney, and winning one again for Big Kitty to try to keep that the imaginary traveling championship trophy that I just made up in my head stay in the race shop of ID Racing. We see a couple more cars lap down. Kynan Jones made his pit stop a little bit ago. He's going to get by. Now move Marabello up into the 8th spot. So probably for the most part for Vincent, I think it might come out in a wash on the short pitting. A risk, you know, for him not in that points battle. A risk worth taking. I think even for a guy in the championship battle, Blake Barney, was a risk worth taking too, as we've seen how much that 90 truck of Johnny Eckert has been dominating this race, as he's almost pulled that lead up to 7 seconds. And probably by the time I got done with the sentence, it's up to 7 seconds already. Man, it almost lost a full second there. I don't know if maybe a little bit of issues there for the 00 Blake Barney. He's working around lap traffic of Kyle Walgren. One scheme honoring a cat, the other scheme honoring a baseball team. You see it all here in OSCA. Got anime stuff that I'm not allowed to talk about. Is that right, Carlos? And then the 29, I nailed it, I guess. And the 29 of Matthew Bayak working his way, trying to chase down to see if he can get in that 2nd spot at least. Because he's now about 3 seconds back, a little less than 3 seconds back. Not more. No, it's now 3 seconds back of Blake Barney, ever changing. Fresher tires for every one of the championship contenders than the other 3 compared to Blake Barney and that 00. So it was a punch worth taking. So far, not working out maybe to plan for Blake Barney. But if he can hold on to that 2nd spot, I think it's definitely worth it. As Adam Tepe is now going to fall in the clutches of Matthew Back, putting him a lap down to him, as he's already been scored a lap down. Only 8 trucks now on the lead lap. Westergreen working his way into that top 10. And one thing I do got to say to that two truck, you know, top 10 running 10th. Probably not exactly where he wanted to run tonight, but man, oh man, I tell you what, again, since Talladega, that victory he's had here in OSCA, any other league race that he's been in, it's been hard luck for David Westergreen. So I think even the little things, sometimes top 10 is just having a clean run, a good run, where you don't damage the truck, can go a long way, and even adding that top 10 to your tally can go a long way in the mental bank to build momentum forward into next season and even future other league endeavors he'll be doing. Something he definitely needs. Nicholas Monticelli running in that 12th position in the 27. Again, we've seen that truck get wadded up a lot of times too. And he's been running fast and smooth. He's been picking up a lot of pace here as the season's come along, so it's good to see his luck kind of turning around. One guy we need to see his luck turn around is that 55, Brandon Dollar. He's starting to turn into some bad luck here. You see the lap cars go high, give room to the 29 of Matthew Bax. He's still trying to chase down that 00 of Blake Barney. See Adam Tepe trying to take advantage of the fresher tires there as well. We're down to 15 laps to go. Johnny Eckert kind of doing almost the same thing he did at Watkins Glen, putting a stinker on, leading by almost 10 seconds. I think the over/under now with 14 laps to go, if he can get it over, I'm going to say 17 seconds. That's what he's running towards. Maybe that's much, maybe 15. He can do that. As Kevin White Jr. right now, if the race ended, he'd be moved up into the lead in half number 2. Currently running in that 4th position. But Johnny Eckert's still working around lap traffic. You never know what can happen. This is a dive on the inside of Dallas Myhan, getting around him, putting him 1 lap down, leaving only 7 cars on lead lap, but that might go down to 6 in a hurry here with that 42 of Vincent Isabella. Oh, drifting sideways out of the corner is the 41 of Dallas Myhan. Nice save for the 41, and ooh, he's maybe used his tires up. He looks like he got a little loose going into the corner. But one guy who's been holding a pretty wheel all night is that purple machine of Johnny Eckert. So I might have set the bar too high at 15 seconds. He's gonna be at 10 seconds now over Blake Barney. So we're watching Kevin White Jr. weaving his way through traffic between Monticelli now and Walgren. See, now it appears to be a little damage at 27, so he might have got in the wall here just a couple laps ago. Here just a few laps ago, that truck was clean. Dylan Gooden running in 5th. One of the 6 cars on the lead lap. Riley Marabello, he's going to be pretty close to going a lap down here in a couple laps. So we might only have 5 cars on the lead lap by the time we end half number 1 here. So I think track position is going to be important. Things they pick up, you're going to wonder if half number 2 is going to be more chaotic, as these guys might jockey for position a little bit more. So don't go anywhere for half number 2. That'll be coming up after the conclusion here of half number 1. We've got 9 laps to go. And there you see the gap. Riley Marabello, Johnny Eckert, Thomas Capiano ahead of them as well. Here's he moved up in position. You see Dennis Weeks has fallen out of the race. He's fallen into that 15th position. 12 laps down. Piers just a couple laps. That 92 machine will go a lap down. Kind of a shame. He was so consistent, so strong, getting victories early on in the going. Then the tough luck began once the playoffs started. And then it didn't help that that 90 machine that's right on his bumper turned on the wick and started lighting everybody up as he's doing again here tonight. Almost taking it 3 wide. Johnny Eckert, he doesn't have to be that aggressive, but for a second he looked like he thought about it. Maybe we'll do it again. Marabello's trying to stay as low as he can, doesn't want to be a factor here in the championship battle. Capuano, oh, I thought maybe thinking about going 3 wide again. This is gonna hold up Eckert just a little bit. But again, a 10-second lead to buffer out with, so he's got time. He doesn't have to make a rush around these 2 lap cars. Capuano almost coming down. Looks like now he'll surrender that spot. Put him 6 laps down, currently being scored in that 17th position. Now Riley Marabello, looks like he got a little loose coming out of the corner. Probably trying to do all he can. It's a pride thing too to try to stay on that lead lap. Come out of the corner, oh, washing up a little bit, able to keep going. Looks like now Eckert's finally going to get around and lap the 92, so 5 cars will remain on the lead lap. And it appears maybe Dylan Gooden, the last car on the lead lap, is closing that gap on the 38 of Kevin White Jr. There he is, for sure. Within a couple car lengths of that 38 machine with 5 laps to go. This is a very important spot for Kevin White. If he wants to start in that top spot in half number 2, he's got to keep that 75 at bay. And of course, Dylan Gooden, teammate to Johnny Eckert, he's going to do all he can to ensure his teammates can get that championship victory. As Johnny Eckert's doing a good job of that himself, currently in the lead with 3 laps to go. Dylan Gooden did win the ARCA race in his first ever time running it. Coming away with the win. I believe that was the first ARCA race that was broadcast. Ooh, Dylan Gooden in the wall. And now that will probably do that battle here complete, as it appears a little bit of damage you see on around the roof cam here, the 75. That right front, just a little crinkled. That could be enough damage maybe to tighten that truck up and maybe not be able to get that second run. But here we have Johnny Eckert, two laps to go. The battle here. Ooh, Capuano battling there with Isabella, being scored in the 7th spot now. Chasing down the 92, see if we get around. White flag lap, 1 to go. Johnny Eckert trying to win that OSCA Truck Series championship, season number 2. Grandmother passed away a couple weeks ago, trying to get a win for her, maybe even the championship coming out of 4. Johnny Eckert's gonna win half number 1 of the, I can't believe it's over 150. But it's not over yet. We still have 1 half to go, but Johnny Eckert looking strong. And I think, just as Vic Bloom will hope for, the top 4 are going to finish in the top 4, and they will invert. As your top 4 again are Johnny Eckert, Blake Barney, Matthew Beck, Kevin White, and then Dylan Gooden will round out that top 5. But again, the top 4 invert, moving Kevin White Jr. He'll start on the pole here for half number 2. So a little bit of track position lost here for Johnny Eckert getting that win, which obviously puts him in the catbird seat to come home with the championship here tonight, and it appears he's going to be a hard guy to beat as we see the final results up on screen. So we'll see, but we're gonna have hungry drivers, and maybe the rest of these championship contenders picked up something that they can do to beat Johnny Ecker or two. But right now, it looks like the heavy favorite in half to come home with that championship is going to be that 90 machine. And I didn't even say it. It's coming, Rome. I mean, he's not running the Italy. He's not running that truck anymore. But we'll still make him say it when he gets interviewed here tonight. And go down the rest of the running order. Riley Marabello able to hold on to that 6th position over Vincent Isabella. Dallas Myhand, after getting in that spin, still coming home with a top 10, as well as the It's Machine of Robert Hill Jr. and David Westergreen again. Gotta feel good, buddy. Didn't wreck that truck. Gotta feel good. It's something different. It's a clean truck that you can bring back for half number 2, and maybe even get a top 5, maybe even a win. Maybe gamble a little bit here in the second half. You got nothing to lose. A lot of those guys got nothing to lose. We'll see what happens. As now we are in the warm-up for half number 2. And this is it. You know, we've seen. I'm expecting to see a lot more fireworks here for. Oh boy, maybe not that crazy. Running the wall. Let's see how far he gets there. He's working his way. Oh, come on, keep going. He's going to lose it. Oh, he fell off the wall. He made it almost around the whole corner, just out of the exit at 2. Almost collecting. I believe is that Marabello there? Just rolled by. I think he's trying to get on the wall again, see if he can do it any longer. Taking his warm-up to practice for good use. But so fireworks, I think, indeed. But again, maybe not as crazy as we just seen there from Adam Tepe, but last season swing, something that you got to do maybe a little bit different than to try to make something exciting happen here to end your season out on a strong note. I think a lot of these guys took notes. We'll find out what's going to happen here at the Milwaukee Mile. Home of Summerfest here in Wisconsin. Milwaukee Brewers playing pretty good. Not too far away from the Milwaukee Mile there. I almost couldn't say that. Beautiful overhead shot of the speedway. Now the field will be gritting up for half number 2. Again, Kevin White Jr. on the pole. He'll be alongside Matthew Bayak again. Be curious to see what Bayak does now too. You know, maybe use his tires up just a little bit on the early part of the first run. Working his way all the way back from the starting spot from 15th up into the 3rd spot. So by the time he got into that 3rd position, I think he used his stuff up quite a bit. And now that they're going to be on even playing ground to start off once again here in half number 2, see what he has. Blake Barney. See if he can pick up some speed as well, the defending champion. And Kevin White, I think he does have the short run pace to do it. We've seen him overdrive the truck just a couple times. Maybe burn those tires off as well. Again, see if these top 4, if anything is going to change. We're going to find out in just a little bit as the pace car is going to be rolling next time by. We'll be going green for the I Can't Believe It's Over 150. And in 75 laps, it will be over, and we'll determine a champion here. For season 2 of the OSCA Truck Series. Crazy to think. Top 4 invert. And your top 4 are those championship 4. And you don't want to see people get too crazy right off the bat here, as well as we've seen that our only caution so far of the night was when My Hand Endure went around early on in the going on those fresh tires. Pace truck's going to be off here. We're going to go green flag racing. Kevin White Jr. Bayak's going to battle down into turn number 1, side by side. Kevin White Jr. on the inside. Looks like he's going to clear the 29, put him into the lead. Now Barney's on the inside of Bayak, and they're going to battle down into turn number 3. Bayak can go back in that third position. Not quite how he wanted to see this play out. And Johnny Eckert now looking on the inside as well. So drop him back, Bayak back into the 4th position. So White, Barney, Eckert, Bayak, lap number 1. Shuffled up quite a bit from that start. Oh, speaking of shuffling up, Riley Barbell all the way on the apron below Vincent Isabella, running in the 5th position. Isabella 6, Dylan Gooden dropping back quite a few spots here as well, or at least a couple spots. He's falling back into 7th from starting in 5th. See behind him, Dallas, My Hand, and Western Green. Oh, we do have a crash here. Another caution early on in the going here at half number 2. Adam Tepe in the 96, and Shane DiMantova in the 34 machine. 20 on the scorecard at home. Following along at home. And oh, once again, I don't know if there's contact. Almost similar. It looked like almost 2 incidents happened at the same time, just enough to bring the caution out. It's been kind of crazy there. Neither guy fully lost speed. Tepe going down pit road. See, already some damage there to the 34 machine before this happened. Oh wow, almost simultaneously. That was crazy. I don't think that was that big of a, that would have been huge net code. Actually, Mantova stayed off the wall. It's like, I almost think back to that Vic Bloom wreck, that almost wreck that didn't cause a yellow. This is pretty similar. Tepe was able to get down pit road. I mean, he probably even made pit road speed there. He probably didn't even get a penalty. So good job by those guys. I mean, unfortunate caution came out, but man, you got to give them an attaboy for both those guys not hitting anything. And I'm pretty sure that 96 came down pit road under speed. Impressive. OSCA Truck Series having some of the best drivers in the world. Even when they make mistakes, they do crazy things and save them. We've been seeing a lot of that here as of late. We've seen Johnny Eckert get on pit road at Michigan, almost lose it, made an incredible save. And we've just seen that again here between Shane DiMantova and Adam Tepe. We're on lap number 5, still 70 laps to go. Most of these drivers staying out. This race appears we'll only have 18 cars in that started the second half of the race here, and all still on the lead lap. DiMantova getting some of that damage fixed on his machine. Maybe Vic Bloom, maybe the other guy that's had an extended stay on pit road, so maybe there was a little contact between those two. I'm totally assuming there as well, so that there is that. But right now, White, Barney, Eckert, Bayak, and Marbello, they complete your top 5 here tonight. Or so far here early on in the going, half number 2, I should say. Kind of keep a note. Guys like Brandon Dollar, who had a rough first half going, he's worked up into 14th here early on in the going. Both guys are pretty close to where they finish in half number 1. I think this time by, they'll get the 1 lap to go signal. Means they'll get the green flag, believe, on lap number 8. If the pace truck lights do go off. And indeed they do. 1 lap to green flag racing. If I use my Larry Mac trends of the race, we've seen in the last half, early caution. There's no cautions after that. Do we expect the same thing? Or maybe these guys race a little harder. That was my best Larry Mac impression I could do. Or maybe so these guys are getting ready to go to green. Pull those belts tight one more time. We're sitting on the championship. Okay, I'm done now with the Larry Mac impressions, I promise. As we go back to green flag racing here at lap number 8. Kevin White Jr. gonna lead him to the green flag. As they won for this one last chance to slay some demons in heaven. Kevin White Jr. is going to take the green flag. He's going to get a good jump. He's going to clear Barney going down into 1. Eckert's going to clear the 29 of Matthew Bayak. And now Barney's looking on the inside for the lead. We might have a battle. White throws a block. Going down to 3. Can he do it again? And you got to wonder how well that 90 machine was running that first half, saving his stuff, watching these two guys racing aggressively, White and Barney for this lead. Are they going to burn that stuff up? But now, anyway, here we're gonna see that 00 on the inside. Looks like he's going to be in prime position to take the lead as they exit turn number 2, side by side, drag racing down the backstretch. The help's going to be up top. But no, going down to the corner. Almost making contact. Move Blake Barney into the lead. Johnny Eckert's going to be threatening to take second place away. Oh, looks like getting a little loose out of the corner. It's that 38 of Kevin White. And he's going to surrender that second spot to Johnny Eckert. So now Blake Barney's moving up in that high lane. He's got some work to do if he's going to hold off that 90 machine. He's been fast and stout all night. Winning half number 1 by 10 seconds. Right now, maybe conserving that stuff a little bit. Here we go, completing lap number 11. Blake Barney, your leader. Barney, I think for him to want to win this championship, he's going to have to lead pretty much the rest of this race. Keep that 90 at bay. If there was some sort of tiebreaker, I think they'd almost go to laps led. By average finish here too of the two halves. So Barney's going to have to be aggressive to hold off that 90 machine. This could get interesting if the 90 closes that gap on the 00. We'll see how this plays out. Bayak is looking like he's trying to knock on the door of that 38. Get into the 3rd position. He's kind of broke out in these top 4 kind of broke on 2 little mini packs here. Now completing lap number 12. Right now, Barney's kind of maintaining that gap. Eckert hasn't been able to close in quite yet. Maybe figuring something out, or maybe Eckert is, saving his stuff a little bit, knowing he has some left. His cards close to the vest and waiting to play those cards at the right time. Here we go, Matthew Bayak right there, Johnny, but Kevin White Jr. I'm so excited for getting names here. Wow, an aggressive move by Kevin White. Maybe trying to pull a crossover move. He's going to try to power back around on the outside. And it looks like he'll work down the back stretch. Oh, he doesn't. He's going to throw a block. What a move by the 38. He's able to hold off the charge there by Matthew Bayak. Wow. That was a power move on the outside. But Bayak's still right there. He's going to have to do this for 60 more laps. That's a tall order. In the meantime, looks like he's going to be able to do it as for now. So Blake Barney able to keep around a 0.4 of a second lead over Johnny Eckert. That's been pretty steady. Eckert really not able to close the gap too much, getting into about 3.35. Right around there. Oh, now actually closing that gap quite a bit. Kind of rubber banding back and forth. But man, you still see that 29 machine of Bayok right on that back bumper. These two guys are not holding their cards close to the vest. They are going to be aggressive to try to get in position. Maybe hoping that the two championship contenders ahead of them are going to battle as hard as they are, put themselves in the spot to maybe take the lead and walk away as champion. But running this hard might not pay off in the long run. Again, this early in the half, but here goes back on the inside. Ooh, it looked like they were going to get close going down to the corner. Side by side, I think Bayok's going to finally get the 38 machine of Kevin White. Once again, man, Kevin White's been getting an awesome run coming out of corner exit, trying to pinch that 29 as low as he can out of corner exit. See if he can pull one of those power moves off once again, but that is going to burn those tires up, so you got to wonder how much these guys are going to be burning it up side by side. Almost making contact. Kevin White trying to keep it low as he can, but I don't think he's going to be able to do it this time. Move Bayok into third. Kevin White will be back into fourth. Now maybe trying to recharge the batteries for that 38 machine. Cool down the tires and see if he can get back up on the bumper of the 29. We know these two boys are not afraid of being aggressive. When this battle was going on, that battle between your top two is pretty much maintained in between that, about 0.3 to 0.4 of a second between Barney and Eckert up front. These guys, as hard as they're battling with each other, of Bayok and White, losing time on those front two, and maybe even Vincent Isabella closing that gap on them as well, to maybe throw himself in the mix to try to get on the podium as well to wrap up this season. So 21 lap, or on lap 21, Barney crosses the line. Looks like Shane DiMantova did park the truck. So we have 17 cars on the lead lap. Last car on the racetrack right now is that 17 machine of Vic Bloom. Johnny Eckert now closing that gap in quite a bit. I mean, at least maintain now the about 0.2 of a second, almost rubber banding to 0.2 to 0.3, and now it looks like he is there. So we might see a battle for the lead here before too long. As it appears to me, Kevin White might have to wait for a pit cycle to maybe get back in the mix of things here as well. So we've seen Blake Barney kind of cut that first half almost in half when he came down pit road. So again, I think it's going to be a gamble of when you're going to pit, when not to pit. We've seen in the short term, short pitting works out tremendously, can gain a lot of time. We've seen over a long run that Johnny Eckert, when he pitted later, that he came out, he had a big enough gap too, where he could run a little bit later and have fresher tires towards the end of the race. That led him to get that 10-second lead in half number one. But now that he's currently running in second, and you figure pit stops will be coming in roughly 12 to maybe 20 laps or so on average, that if Blake Barney stays ahead of Johnny Eckert, that could change the mentality of when that 90 truck's going to pit. So that can make things very interesting if Blake Barney can keep this lead. And as you see, he's pulled away to now 0.6 of a second. Right now, it could be a factor of a cat and mouse game between these two on how the pit cycles are going to play out. And be how hard they're even running on the tires they're currently on right now. So now we're seeing another charge here from Johnny Eckert. He's closed that gap up quite a bit, now getting back into that 4/10 of a second. We might have a little bit of a action going on here on the track. I believe that is the 55 of, what is it? Nope, that's a battle between my hand and Marabello here, my bad. This is the battle here now on the top of your screen for the 7th position. I think these guys have been exchanging that position a little bit here, as it's still pretty intense. As Marabello has it, my hand wants it. They're getting all the way down on the apron. Marabello, you've seen him doing that quite a bit in half number 1. And able to work out for him pretty well. As you kind of monkey see, monkey do. My hand's kind of doing the same thing now to try to keep pace. But as these two guys are running hard to try to defend and get their positions, David Westergreen in 9th, closing that gap a little bit. This could be a 3-car battle for that 7th spot, as once again that lead kind of maintaining on the bottom corner of your screen there between Barney and Eckert be 4/10 of a second. Definitely appears that Westergreen's closing that gap, and now maybe my hand falling into the clutches of the tube machine just a little bit. It's a very tricky track here, you know, and the field will spread out quite a bit, but the margin of error is so razor thin here. You got to play everything just right if you want the race to go your way. Now we're looking at another battle that's, I think we just watched Dollar and Monticelli. And Vic Bloom, Monticelli losing connection there a little bit. It was almost looking like it's going to get 3 wide, and that was the battle for 14th position. Again, 17 cars on lead lap. Pierce Dennis Weeks, who did not grid up for the race, is up there now. He moved up into 18th, but he's scored 15 laps down. Looks like Monticelli is going to lose a spot to Vic Bloom, almost making contact there. They're battling for that 15th spot. Looks like Bayak, I believe, down pit road, so he's going to short pit quite a bit. So is Dallas Myhan. So Bayak's surrendered at 3rd position. This is going to be stretching it out quite a bit for those tires. They feel short pitting will be the game to play here. See a lot of damage in the back end of that 99 machine. I don't know if that was from Vincent Isabella. Earlier we've seen that damage in the front, or not from Vincent Isabella, I'm sorry, Shane DiMantova early on in the race. Heavy damage to that 99 truck. So Matthew Bayak, the first of your championship 4 contenders that came down pit road. It appears he's going to stay on the lead lap at 14th. So maybe that's what he's thinking. Don't want to lose too much time to the leaders when you come down pit road. You see Dylan Gooden now exiting pit road there as well. And that's one thing, we've seen how tight that window is to get on pit road. One of the trickier pit roads to get onto. And you know, so far tonight we've seen these guys do an excellent job getting onto pit road. But it's not too hard to see some of these guys getting close to hitting the water barrels. But now we see in that bottom corner, looked like Johnny Eckert was closing that gap quite a bit, almost getting to the inside of Blake Barney. But now Barney able to pull that gap away once again to around a 4/10 of a second lead. But now they're going to have a guy who just has fresh tires trying to unlap himself as that 41 of Dallas Myhan. Can he kind of throw a mix of these guys around as Myhan's right on the bumper of that 90 machine. Coming on at 2. You don't want to play a factor for, in the championship battle if you're Myhan, but you also want to get all the good out of your tires, get all that track position while you can, while you're going to be faster than these guys. And now he's going to be on the outside of Johnny Eckert. He's going to get around him. Now he's looking at our leader, Blake Barney, to try to unlap himself. There's a battle for the 7th spot at the bottom screen. Oh! Capuano getting loose. He's in 7th spot. Kind of Joan wants it. Capuano almost gave it to him. Maybe almost put each other in the wall, but able to keep it going. See 2 cars, both screens side by side. As Myhan's going to unlap himself. Kind of Jones trying to take away that 7th position. Looks like he will do so. Kyle Walgren now, he's going to get on pit road, because he's now currently scored 16th, 1 lap down. The 2 guys that made pit stops already back on the lead lap, Bayak and Myhan, able to work themselves on pit road as we hit lap 37. So I'm assuming anytime we're going to see those top 2 come down pit road. Matthew Bayak's already now worked himself into the top 10. So he's going to be short pitted by quite a bit over our leaders as he came down around, I believe, lap, what was it, lap 31, 30, no, it was a little later than that, I think, 32. That could be huge. He's got to put a pretty big gap, I think, if he's going to want to hold these 2 trucks off. And Barney and Eckert. As Blake Barney able to hold off that 90 machine. We've seen how dominant that 90 truck was in half number 1, but right now, so far, dominating the laps led is that 00 Blake Barney to try to defend his truck title. So Blake Barney's there, or Eckert's there. Blake Barney's coming down pit road. Oh, and we have a car sideways, and I believe that's the Walgren, and oh man, that's gonna bring out the caution as Blake Barney's down pit road. I think he got in before the caution came out, so he might, if he can stay on the lead lap, he'll be in good shape. And Walgren just getting loose, and oh, hits the inside wall. Tough break for that beautiful Milwaukee Brewers machine. Keeping it maybe a little bit too low on corner exit, too much wheel into it, too much beans, boom, hits the inside wall, bringing out our 2nd caution of the day. And as they say, this changes everything. Here's Blake Barney. I think he's still holding on to that first spot. Look, appears he's got some damage down to the back end of his truck. Not sure when he got that. Or he maybe not. Oh, no, it's actually still scoring. Johnny Eckert, so maybe Barney having to take a wave around. So that might hurt him. So he'll have to start on the tail end of the lead lap, but he'll still have those fresh tires. And Johnny Eckert will be coming down pit road. Most of our leaders here will be coming down pit road. It'll be interesting to see some of those guys that short pitted like Bayak and Myhan, if they stay out, keep that track position. It's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Nope, we see the 29 and the 41 both coming down pit road. Ooh, I believe that was Marabello overshooting his pit box by a little bit. We'll see who wins the race off pit road. Looks like Johnny Eckert will just edge out that 42 of Vincent Isabella. Kevin White Jr. and Matthew Bayak coming down, kind of Jones, and oop, 2 cars inside each other. That was scary there for a second. A couple cars. I think we're looking to get the wave around here. Monticelli and Dollar. believe Gooden as well. See if he dives down pit road. This time by. He will do so. So now this mixes up. This now changes everything. Puts Eckert even more into the catbird seat, as now they'll put a little bit of position, or a few positions gap between him and his championship opponents. As Eckert will be scored now your leader. I believe the next car will be Kevin White Jr. He'll be in third, and Bayak will be in fourth. A little bit of a gap here. Vincent Isabella is going to be the buffer for Johnny Eckert and the championship, and a tough break, I think, for Blake Barney. He'll be restarting, it looks like, around the 10th position, coming down pit road literally as the caution came out. I think at that point, all you can really do is complete your service, hope you can stand lead lap, and it must have, the pit exit must have just been closed by the time the pace car went around, trapping him behind the pace car, forcing to take the wave around, and losing that track position. So very unfortunate for that double zero machine, but I feel we bunched up here. Anything can happen. Got his ID Racing teammate on the outside of row number 1. Maybe going to be trying to play a little bit of a spoiler to prevent that 90 truck from getting a sweep. Man, if he could pull off a sweep here tonight, you've seen how excited Eckert was, when he swept the races at Watkins Glen. How excited would he be if he can do it again here tonight at Milwaukee and clinch himself a championship for the OSCA Truck Series? We'll determine all that here in the last 30 laps, as Johnny Eckert's going to take the green flag, lead him down into turn 1. He's going to clear Vincent Isabella. Isabella's going to fall in the clutches of Kevin White Jr. in second. White Jr. is going to get up in there, move him into the second spot. Matthew Bayak in third, or fourth now. Used to seeing all those green numbers up top, now spread out just a little bit. Barney's worked up into the 8th spot. Kevin White Jr., we've seen how aggressive he was early on in the going of this race. He's going to be aggressive now, getting right on the back bumper of the 90 machine, trying to get that lead away. And Vincent Isabella isn't too far behind. Second spot. This is the time to dig. If you can, want to keep that 90 machine within a puncher's chance of winning this race. Trying to get that championship done. Right now, all the things are going the way of that 90 machine as he's holding on to that lead. Winner of half, number 1. And I just always think back to when he got his first win earlier this season, thinking he wasn't even safe to making the race. Then he started to turn it on, dominated the last few races of the season, and got his victory in our first playoff race. And right now, dominating here tonight, looking good so far to pick up his first OSCA Truck Series championship. As he's coming out of turn 4 to complete lap number 48. See if any of those guys can make any last-ditch efforts. See Bayak getting up into the 4th spot, trying to hold off David Westergreen. And Blake Barney's worked himself up from 10th to 6th. Again, having that untimely caution just a few laps ago as he was leading the race. But Johnny Eckert, you know, a lot of times I think you ask a lot of drivers, short pitting is usually the way, the trend that a lot of guys will go into. I think even in real life NASCAR, you see short pitting kind of being the favorable strategy. Johnny Eckert kind of pulling off the old school strategy of staying out longer or as long as you can. And it seems like more often than not, it's been paying off for him, as he's starting to gap that 38 machine ever so slightly, getting close to 0.7 of a second lead. Blake Barney now has rocketed his way up into that 3rd position, getting by teammate Vincent Isabella. Matthew Bayak, he's going to fall a few spots. Ooh, Westergreen gets sideways out of the corner, but move him up into the 4th spot. So, man, Westergreen, man, he finally gets a race finished clean, and he's got his swagger back, working up into that top 5. Man, he might have a little damage to that truck there, but it no matter. He's in 4th position, right ahead of Vincent Isabella. But now Blake Barney, man, he's going to have to use up a lot of stuff. He's almost 3 seconds back of that 90 machine of Johnny Eckert, but he's going to have to use all of it up if he expects to close that gap and get back up to the front, or maybe hope for a late caution as well. As my Larry Mack trends that I made earlier on in the race didn't pan out. We did see one more caution, so maybe we can see another, but it would not be surprised either way if it stays green or caution comes out. So now Johnny Eckert's turning on that wick that he had in half number 1, starting to gap the 38 of Kevin White Jr. There you see a very grim car you see in that 2 machine as well. Really looking forward to that, his luck to change. And again, it went to all leagues that Westergreen has been a part of. On the side of that truck, it says rest in peace championship hopes after getting dashed. Oh, we see the 41 going around. We might see another yellow, and we will. Dallas Myhead, seen it in half number 1 now, and half number 2. Going around it, and more some of these cautions I've seen that look pretty similar, never fully lost it, and I still cannot believe Vic Bloom brought out the yellow, and man, he was smoking those tires. Way too much beans there, able to stay off the wall and everything. Keep on going. Bring out another yellow, so now what do? Do you pick, get some fresh tires? Oh, trying to save it, and he does, but was just enough to bring out a yellow. As there was the onboard cam. Trying to do his best Tokyo drift, but it didn't complete. It had to come to a stop, bring out the yellow. And there you see Thomas Capiano getting his lap back, put him back on the lead lap. So 15 cars on the lead lap, and actually Brandon Dollar, you see him getting the lap back as well as Dennis Weeks, and it looks like everyone's going to come down pit road again, getting fresh tires, and now that gap's going to be closed between Eckert and Barney once they get off of pit road. It appears 3 trucks stayed out. It appears Kynan Jones, Vic Bloom, and Adam Tepe staying on the racetrack, so that could play a factor here as well. Blake Barney looks like he might have taken 2 tires. He's going to win the race off pit road. And oh, looks like teammate action there, as it appeared that Robert Hill was going to win the race off pit road over Johnny Eckert, but backed off and kept Eckert in that second car off pit road. Looks like Brandon Dollar, I think he took a wave around, so he'll have to go to the tail end of the field here anyway. So he was a gap there between Barney and Eckert. As long as the 60 machine of Capiano, I think he'll be restarting at the tail end of the field as well once we go back to green flag race. It looks like it appears one more car down pit road. That'll be the 96 machine of Adam Tepe, clearing room for the leaders, and Robert Hill going down pit road as well. But 2 trucks staying out, trying to make some late season magic happen. Kynan Jones, Carlos's boy, his sweetheart, leading the race, 73. There's the 99 of Vic Bloom. As you see on the side of his truck, thanking you all out there watching this race here tonight. Thank you all for supporting the OSCA Truck Series. Vic Bloom, I know he works hard week in, week out to try to put most interesting, most different, I don't know if that's the correct language, English to use there, product out there, and he certainly does a good job. And now, try to decide a here. Kynan Jones leading the race. You know, again, he's your boy Carlos, but I do got to say I'm usually 44 anytime I run a race. My second number option is the 73. So maybe he's I don't know if Kynan Jones is the people's champ, but he's at least the broadcast boost champ right now, and he's currently leading the race. So it's awesome to see that 73 leading the race late here. See if he can hold off those hungry championship contenders for a victory here, or even Vic Bloom. See if he can make some magic happen. Again, that one final race before he goes back into the control tower next season for season number 3. And again, starting up less than a month, season number 3 will start up. Short off season. Refresh the batteries, getting back on the Bristol dirt. Not too long away. But again, still some action to go. We'll have 17 laps to go. Kynan Jones going to lead him to the green flag. See what these guys can do. See what factor they play in. See if they maybe can hold them off on the older tires. Kynan Jones going to take the green flag. Vic Bloom not getting the best of restarts, getting out of the way. They're 2 wide behind him, almost 3 wide for a second. Blake Barney's there. Oh, he's going to get in the back of Kynan Jones. He's going around right in front of the whole field. Oh, looks like he almost cleared the whole field. One other car makes contact. I think that was the It's Machine of Robert Hill. So Blake Barney was trying to, with those fresher tires, trying to get low, maybe not expecting the speed difference between fresh tires and old tires. Oh, actually, that was, didn't see quite who he made contact with, but Robert Hill trying to stay off of him and gets a little sideways to keep off the 73. But one guy who didn't was that 00 Blake Barney going around in front of the field. Good job for most of the field to stay away and not get collected in that wreck. He was right there. We were looking out that tailgate during the live feed. We see right there just making contact. Getting down low, able to avoid making contact with 73 as well. So there's your leader, Blake Barney. After that contact with the broadcast booth champ. Can't do that, Barney. Come on, man. But I'm sure he didn't do that on purpose with the tire difference there with the fresh tires. So that's going to put your 4 championship contenders back into the top 3 in Barney, Eckert, White. Vic Bloom in 3rd. See if he stays out once again. He didn't get the best restart, but kind of the difference there as well. You've seen Bloom kind of staying away, kind of knowing that the drive that these championship guys were going to go into turn 1, wisely kind of rolled out of the battle, and Kynan Jones trying to defend that position, which he had every right to do so as well. Stayed low and got in front of those fresh tires from Blake Barney and made contact and went around. It's now 14 laps to go. I think next time by we'll get the 1 lap to go signal, so we'll take the green flag with 12 laps to go. We've seen Blake Barney do it on the short run on the first stint. Here in half number 2, he's able to hold off that 90 machine. Can he do it again? Got that track position back. But I think as far as tiebreakers would be concerned, he'd maybe want to see Kevin White or Vic Bloom maybe put a 1 truck or 2 difference between that 90 machine and the 00. Don't want to leave things up to tiebreakers. But all he can do now, though, is hope he can win this half and let the chips fall where they may at that point. We'll see if the pace truck lights go off here as they get 13 laps to go. 16 cars still on the lead lap. Thomas Capio on the last one in 16th position. So we do, the pace truck lights are off. They'll double them up, and next time by, we'll be back to green flag racing. See if that damage plays a little bit of a factor in to Blake Barney as well. Curious to see how that plays out. Lap shootout. Decide season number 2 champion. Pace truck will be diving off here in just a couple seconds. Blake Barney's going to lead him back to the green flag. Who's going to win it? We're about to find out. Pace truck diving off. Blake Barney hitting the gas pedal, and he's going to clear the 90 machine. Kevin White Jr. is going to look on the inside of Johnny Acker going down into 1. Can he do it? Side by side on the exit of 2. Usually White is almost better on the outside. They're going to drag race down into 3. Looks like White will clear him. Move White up into the 2nd spot. Johnny Acker looks like he's going to try to do the crossover move. Bloom. It looks like he washes up. He's going to lose a lot of spots on those older tires. Drop him back into the 8th position. You see Bayok and Isabella trying to work their way up to the front. Bayok sees his other 3 championship contenders in the top 3 spots. He wants to get into that mix as well, as he's going to move around Isabella, move him into the 5th position. He's going to look to get around that 75 of Dylan Gooden to get up into that top 4. Coming down to the line, 10 laps to go. Johnny Eckert's going to look on the inside of Kevin White going down into turn 1. But we've seen Kevin White on these short runs able to hold him off, do the power move on the outside. Can he do it once again? This is the time to try it. Johnny Eckert looking stout on the inside as well. I don't know if he's going to hold him off. We'll see Kevin White trying to pinch him down. He's not able to do so this time. And move Johnny Eckert back up into the 2nd position as he's going to clear the 38 of Kevin White going down into turn number 1. So now we'll see if Johnny Eckert can chase down that 00 in these last 9 laps and pull the sweep off and get that championship. Find out. It looks like one car, I believe, maybe the lap car might play a factor in these final 8 laps. Maybe not, might give them enough room. We'll see how this plays out. 7 laps to go. Who's gonna win half number 2? Will it be Barney? Will it be Eckert? Will it be Kevin White? Will he make a last late charge? We've seen what those power moves he can do on the outside, but he's kind of fallen back to almost 3/4 of a second. One guy that's closing in is that 90 machine of Johnny Eckert, closing to the back bumper of that 90 or 00 machine. Can he close it up and get around him? Catching him is going to be one thing, passing him is going to be another. You got to wonder, if you're the 90 machine, you already won half number 1. I think you have more season victories than the 00 Barney, so I think you're going to have tiebreakers pretty much covered. You don't want to get up to that 00 and have him get overly aggressive, maybe collect you into a wreck and hurt your championship hopes even more. And Bayok's getting down low, making an aggressive move. He's a guy who's got to be aggressive. Looking on the inside of that 75 of Dylan Gooden, trying to get up into the top 4. 6 laps to go, coming to 5 laps to go once they cross the stripe as they go down into turn 3. And we have a caution on the speedway. Caution on the racetrack. And once again, this changes everything. Vic Bloom, I'm hearing, is the cause of the caution. So those old tires might have been a little bit too much. Ooh, gets down on the apron, not quite able to hold it, getting around. Man, these guys still staying off the wall. Gets in the grass a little bit, you know, they'll give you one incident point. You can't blame it too bad. See him go down in the corner. Trying to cut the track on the apron. Maybe gassing up just a little bit too much, not rolling off the corner, or rolling in the center of the corner quite as much as he maybe wanted to. Goes around and just enough to throw the yellow once again. And boy, oh boy, will wad the field back up for one late race restart. Looks like everyone stays out on the racetrack besides a couple drivers as Jones and Bloom come down pit road to get fresh tires one last time. Just wasn't that long ago. They were the guys on the old tires. They'll have the freshest tires on this last restart. But I think the main focus is going to be up front here in the top 4 to see if Blake Barty can hold off Johnny Ecker to get another win and maybe potentially get a championship and defend his title. Will it be Outlaw Racing? Will they be able to get that traveling championship imaginary trophy I made up in my head? Or will it stay at ID Racing with Blake Barney? We'll find out. We're going to find out in a green-white checkered finish here, I do believe. We'll still have at least one more lap of caution. 2 more laps, I should say. Or, yeah. Math. Cue the math stuff. I'm just trying to do it. And it hurt my head. So Blake Barney, it was pretty similar to how that gap was on the first stint to begin this half. Kind of maintaining between 0.3 to 0.4 of a second. But all that matters now, you can throw all the trends out the window. In the green-white checkered finish, everyone's going to give everything they got. And you got to wonder, that 38 machine, we've seen some of the aggressive moves he's pulled off in these short runs. Can he pull that magic off here on a late restart and maybe pull off an upset victory here over these top 2 guys ahead of him? Get a championship 4 contender here tonight, but hasn't really been a factor. Well, I guess even not a lot of people are a factor besides that 90 machine in half number 1. This half, it was Barney leading most of this race here after White did lead some laps starting on the pole here for half number 2. Then again, Barney falling back after an untimely caution, able to work himself back up into the lead. Taking 2 tires under the last caution. The pace truck's going to dive off here. We're going to settle. I can't believe it's over 150, and soon enough it will be over. We'll see who the champion's going to be. Blake Barney is going to lead him down to the green flag. He's going to hit that loud pedal. Here he goes. He's going to clear easily Johnny Eckert, and Kevin White Jr. easily is going to clear Johnny Eckert going down into turn number 1. Matthew Bayek's now going to try to look on the inside of the 90 machine as well. So now next time by, white flag top 4 in the top 4, currently going down into turn number 3. Coming on to turn 4, getting the white flag is Blake Barney. Finished second in half number 1. Can he get the victory? Man, they're looking to wad themselves up in the back of the pack here. But right now, it looks like Blake Barney's, all he's got to do is cruise to the victory. I think the battle's going to also be between the 38 and 98. Oh, we got a wreck on the backstretch. But coming out of turn number 4, Blake Barney had an untimely caution, but he worked himself back up the front. He's going to take half number 2. of the I can't believe it's over 150. And again, maybe putting himself in a good position, a better over average finish than Johnny Eckert, who finished first and third compared to Blake Barney's first and second. See some cars finishing backwards. The IT car, I think that's, I'm sorry, Robert, but that might have been fitting for the IT car. It's is what it is. I don't know what I was trying to say there. But I think they crowned the champion here tonight, and it looks like Johnny Eckert doing burnouts there with Blake Barney. So I believe we have our champion. Seeing what the official word is here. See Barney doing burnouts after getting that victory. What a race here tonight. As Vincent Isabella doing burnouts with teammate Blake Barney, able to get the victory. And what a victory it was for Blake Barney, having to hold off the dominant driver all night. And we did see that 38 machine pull off those aggressive moves just enough. To get that second spot away, and that might have been the difference. Determine our champion. Waiting on official word. Who wins the championship? I believe we do have. We'll at least get some interviews here while we wait the word. Maybe even the guy who finished second in this half number 2 is Kevin White Jr. So I think you did about all you could do here tonight, Kevin, and falling short of that championship. But what a way to work up into that second spot to finish out this season. What's that? Oh, Kevin, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
Copy.
I know there's some confusion going on in the track about who won the championship, but just trying to listen in real quick.
Oh, okay. We're still waiting on word here, as it's going to be this tight down to the wire. I think it's about as close as you could expect it to be here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, all 4 of us, we were under a blanket all night, so.
Do you know, are they going by average finish or points total for the night?
Points total for the night, but if there was a tie, it went by top 5s and top 10s. But they're also saying that bonus points are also a factor, which in the drivers' meeting they said there was going to be no bonus points for the night. So.
Oh boy.
I don't know what's going on, but I'm just as confused as you guys are up here, Goody and Carlos.
So, I mean, as we wait for official word here, were you pretty much expecting how to play it out tonight, where the top 4 contenders were battling for those top 4 spots all night?
For sure, and it made it just that much harder. Like, you couldn't let up, and you had to leave it all on the track pretty much. I mean, if you had one guy pass you, like how I finished 4th in the first one when Bayuk passed me, I knew it was over right then. And in the second race, we just went out there and tried to hang our hats on a win for the rest of the season. So.
Yeah, and doing all you can do. It seemed like you made a some pretty awesome power moves on the short run. You and Bayuk were battling for that 3rd position early in half number 2 here, and making some power moves on the outside. So I mean, I think you can at least say tonight you didn't leave anything out on the racetrack.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just trying to keep up consistency and hanging with Johnny and Blake. They were hard to hang with all night. I mean, props to them too, because coming into this race, they had the most chance to win the race. But this is actually my first race on this track. I just bought it like Wednesday, So I mean, I can't really complain because as a first race here, it's just getting the feel for the track. That's what I pretty much did in Heat 1, but I was still able to hang on to a top 5, and just a little frustrated, you know what I mean? Not being able to get the championship, but also as a debut season and being a rookie in this season, I can't complain at all. But maybe next season with, we go to short tracks and we start the year off with Bristol Dirt. So I mean, I swept the dirt races. Obviously, that got taken away from me. But next season we're coming in. We're coming in full speed. We're gonna win a championship. That's what I'm calling my shot on right now.
Yeah, I mean, coming away with the awesome points finish here in season number 1, able to contend for a championship in your rookie season. So I think the sky's the limit for you. And again, congratulations to awesome run this season. And before we let you go, though, any shoutouts you want to give?
Elite Performance Industries, everything they do for me. If you guys want setups coming in on the new season, 2021 season 4, go to www.eliteperformanceindustries.com. We got Legends, SKs, late model sets, A, B, C, next gen, anything dirt, and we just hopped on the dirt road scene. So, and I want to thank you guys for being up here in the booth all season. You guys did an amazing job. I had fun talking to you guys throughout most of the top 3 runs I've had, and hopefully I'll be talking to you guys some more than what I did this year next season.
Yeah, and we will hopefully we'll get to talk to you more next season, as well as the season won't be too much longer away. I believe we're looking at September 16th.
Yep.
Yeah, so you best get ready and get into season form in a couple weeks.
For sure. Thank you guys so much again, and hopefully I'll be walking away with 2 wins starting off next season. So you guys have a good one.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Kevin. That was Kevin White Jr. And hearing an official word that the 90 truck of Johnny Eckert came down to a tiebreaker between him and Blake Barney, and we'll see. Waiting on official word what the tiebreaker was, just to clarify that up here just in a little bit. As waiting on official word to see who we're going to interview next, and kind of get that information down before we bring our next interviewee up into the broadcast booth. So, again, Blake Barney doing everything he could possibly do to defend his title after finishing second, and you've seen him short pit, try to get ahead of Johnny, and get back, and even some of the shortcomings he had in season number 2. Or half number 2, and to be able to still get that victory, but just falling short, coming down to a tiebreaker. This almost coming down, reminding me of Carl Edwards and Tony Stewart battle, or even the 1992. Oh, Carlos is there. That's kind of cool. That had to be a one race to go to, and the other one kind of reminds me similar to that 2011 battle at Homestead was the 1992 Hooters 500 at Atlanta between Bill Elliott and Ellen Kulwicki, who took the championship that season. And hearing it's a top 5 tiebreaker, Blake scored 40 points because of the lap led. Johnny scored 40 points, most overall laps and lap led. And then they were even on points. Eckert wins by top 5 tiebreaker. That was the difference between the championship. So now, before we bring on our champion, we do have to interview the guy who laid it all on the line, did everything he could. And unfortunately, it did have to come down to a tiebreaker, Blake. And you were unable to defend that championship, but at least before you gave up that you're defending your title, that you did about all you could do, and having some shortcomings here tonight in half number 2 to able to get that victory. At least you could say you ended the season on a high note, getting a win.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, at the end of the day, this is all for fun, and I have fun every week, and congrats to Johnny. I mean, he drove a great race, especially in the first race. He dominated, and I didn't know until about lap 60 of the first race that you had to shift once the tires got old. So once I figured that out, I was on par with anybody else, and going into the second race, knowing that I gave me one of the fastest trucks. So no, I mean, it is what it is. It's all good. I wish the rules were explained to me a little bit better before the race, but I mean, on this double-edged sword, I probably should have read them a little bit better. But I just come in here and race everybody clean, so you know, I don't really worry about the technicalities as much. And like I said, Johnny drove his ass off tonight, and he drove a really good race, so congrats to him.
Yeah, and you know, learning to even shift, because I mean, it looked like Johnny was so dominant, because like you said, he was driving his guts out there tonight, and even once you got that shifting down, did you have that feeling that knew that you were going to be able to contend for that half number 2 victory?
Yeah, it was like I mean, I was running out there, you know, pushing the right front off the truck, and all of a sudden I started doing it. And I was like, wow, like, this is what is costing me all this time. I mean, it wasn't even like I was a little bit off. I mean, he spanked us by multiples of seconds. So, it is what it is. I mean, like I said last week, I didn't even have this track. I just bought it. So, I did some practice, but it just never even came to my mind to think of that. But it is what it is. I mean, he drove a great race, like I said, and you know, I had a lot of fun this season. It was great, and you know, I hope we can get some more trucks for the next season. We can have around 30 trucks per week, because even with, you know, 20 to 24, we have great races. So I don't think more trucks would be a bad thing. And yeah, I mean, I have a lot of fun in this league, and I do it with my friends and great people. So it's all I can ask for.
Yeah, it was awesome racing indeed, and especially even too tonight that one untimely yellow coming down pit road under green flag. It appears. What happened then? Was it more of a you had to get you might as well complete your pit service and try to stay out in front of the pace car, and didn't quite do it?
Yeah, I was gonna you know, go through, and I was like, you know what, I might as well do it, and then it lined me up behind the pace car, but I actually should have been in front of it. I just had to let some wave rounds by, and I was just confused. And I mean, just having the caution there wasn't gonna be good in any situation. You know, a lap later maybe it would have been okay, but it was just a bad timing caution. But I mean, it ended up, after all the madness, that to be in my favor, and I did everything I could, and just wasn't enough, I guess.
Yep, you left everything out on the table, and hey, you're still one of only 2 guys that have won a championship in this series, and certainly in just a couple weeks we'll be going back, starting season 3 at Bristol on the dirt, and can reclaim that title next season. That's certainly something I'm sure that's going to be on your radar as well as having fun. But with that, before we let you celebrate an awesome, fun season and a win here tonight, any shout-outs you want to give?
Yeah, I just have to say sorry to the 73 on the last restart. I was just impatient and got into him, but I just gotta thank Bocconi Setup Shop, always IED Racing, Vince Isabella, Shane DiMontova, and Austin Beers, and I just gotta thank Big Kitty. He made the call to shift tonight.
Made the call and at least gave you that puncher's chance to win the championship, but I'm sure Big Kitty will be helping you next season to get right back in this position once again.
Yeah, we're gonna work in the off season, bring out a better truck.
All right, ID Racing making their comeback. We're hearing it here first on 3 Wide Television. Thanks, Blake, and we'll see you in a couple weeks at Bristol.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for the awesome season. Thanks for everything you do.
Thank you. Blake Barney finishing second in the championship this season. Awesome effort, doing everything he could to get it done. But up next, we have the man dominating half number 1, able to get it done and finishing third just enough. You won it by a tiebreaker. I got to hear you say it, Johnny. You know what I'm asking for, don't you?
Oh, I don't know. So yeah, I was concerned about it, especially on that last restart because I thought I was in good shape, but apparently it seemed like Kevin and Barney were working together. I don't know, but they both went at the same time on the last restart, and that was the moment I was like, oh crap. um, I was just holding on, and I was just trying to maintain my position. So because I knew in that moment I knew I was good to go. But yeah, so you know I'm trying to relax a little bit because those couple laps of those last however many minutes, people were talking in my Discord channel. I have no idea what anybody said over the last like 10 laps. I tuned everybody out, and I was just so like focused on trying to make sure that I played certain scenarios in my head, what I would do, and given whatever situation, and I just kept focusing, and I was glad that that restart with Vic, I really appreciate him giving me the room because he had a rough restart, but the second we got past the start-finish line, it looked like he made it right to the side and gave us room to get by him. So I appreciate that, and yeah, it was just terrifying, terrifying end of the race. But and I also didn't really I didn't totally comprehend how close it was. Like in my mind, we were good, but there were certain things that I wasn't considering in that moment, and I thought I had a little bit of a gap. So I right when we went back green, I'm like, oh, wait a minute, gotta really buckle down and make sure I get the position. So
yeah, able to get it done, and I think I brought it up even on the top of our broadcast that, or maybe in the middle of when you were dominating half number one, it still doesn't seem that long ago to me. And would you even have thought after you got your first win earlier this season? We were talking about your playoff chances, and you still didn't feel safe at that point. If you would go back to Johnny then, when I was interviewing you, did you think that you would have the opportunity to be in this position as OSCA Season 2 champion?
No, I honestly didn't. Yesterday, I didn't even think I had a chance. As far as I was concerned, I was racing in Barney's. This was Barney's race to lose, but it was only July 15th, so it was just over a month ago that I got my first win of the season, and now I have 6. So I end the season with 6. It's totally incredible how quickly everything turned around. I got very lucky a lot along the way too with certain races like Darlington, for example. Dylan was in position to win that race and saved just a little less fuel than I did, I guess, and I crossed the line, and then the second race it just all fell apart for me. So I was pretty fortunate to be in this position in the first place, but I guess to some degree I made my own luck. I put myself in good positions. It's at key moments, but I knew regardless of what happened tonight, anything, of course, short of a controversy about the point situation, of course, but I knew regardless of what happened tonight, if I didn't win any races, I was going to be thrilled that I was in position to race for a championship and that I came home with 5 wins on the season. It's been an incredible season. There was a late push for me after everything before Eldoro just didn't seem to go right. At Auto Club, I had a dominating performance too, both halves, and both races slipped away right at the end. So I don't know how these playoffs just kind of flew by. So I forgot about Michigan even last week. I was talking to my team about something that happened. What I said last week. In the meantime, I was thinking Darlington. In the meantime, we were at Michigan last week. It's just everything happened so fast. So hasn't sunk in yet because this has been a very stressful and long season. Just trying to build this up and trying to help Vic and all the other admins and stuff like that. And I'm thrilled for myself and I'm thrilled for the team. I can't thank the rest of my teammates enough for all their help throughout the season too. It's been absolutely incredible.
Yeah, and I think no one would have been as excited as you would for getting this championship. So it's awesome to see that emotion flowing through you right now. But now that you got that championship under your belt here, and along with all that work that you do behind the scenes here, what's your goal as a driver for season number 3? Is it go defend that title? or do you relax a little bit and just go out there and have fun? What's Johnny Eckert doing in season 3?
I'm not really sure yet. I mean, we have some time to discuss, discuss that. I don't know who I'm discussing with. I have some time to think about that, I guess. I obviously I really want to. I'd love to go for another championship. There's there's a lot that could happen, but I think primarily I really want to go back and just keep winning races if I can, and try to outperform this season, because there was a stretch this season where it just felt like it was just not going to work out. And I remember earlier this year, D West was yanking my chain and just kept telling me, because I was getting stressed out about not being in position, and it was myself and DJ, my teammate, that were looking at what they were 7 winners, I think, at one point, and we're like, uh-oh, we're 6 winners, and we're like, uh-oh, one of us is probably going to be out at this rate. And D West was yanking my chain and was like, yeah, don't worry, you're gonna win Watkins Glen, you're gonna sweep Watkins Glen. Come to find out that my playoffs were gonna pretty much lock themselves in New Hampshire before I even got there. So I think that the relaxation going into that helped a lot, and going into that race. So then the confidence came out for the playoffs. But it's next season. I guess I'm just gonna focus on trying to win some more races. Obviously, I'd like to go for another championship, but this the playoffs are always, you never know what's gonna happen. So I try to focus more on a full season. I think 2 good runs too. If we had full season points, I would have come out on top of that championship. So I'm pretty sure. So it was a successful season regardless of the results today. But I'm obviously thrilled about the results. I can't stop talking.
Hey, don't feel bad about it, man. Don't feel bad about it.
Ooh.
I mean, at least the pressure now going into next season. I'm sure no matter what, you're going to try to do what you can to come out on top next year. But maybe just probably from season 2 to season 3, that regular season, if maybe things played out similar, already being a champion, that pressure's got to be off a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the playoffs here didn't really suit my driving style. Like, Darlington has been very hit or miss for me. I've never really done well enough to really compete at Darlington, but I knew that when we had the All-Star race at the end of season 1, that I had a chance because I was pretty fast. I didn't think that the race was going to play out the way it did, but it was pretty fortunate on that end. But Michigan was not in my wheelhouse at all. I'm not a fan of those types of tracks, especially in the truck. But Milwaukee really just fell into it. So I don't even remember what your question was anymore. I'm just so. But yeah.
I mean, the pressure. See that you're just letting the pressure go right here, right now.
Yeah,
I think
I think I put a lot more pressure on myself. It's been a rough 2 weeks too. My grandma passed away a week ago this past Tuesday. So last week I was, we were doing the funeral stuff, and it was a lot of stuff going on, out personally last week. So going into this week, it was just kind of like, now I want to make up for what I didn't do last week and try to prove myself again. And I was kind of surprised at how it all worked out. Going into next season, you think about the playoffs and you think about the racetracks that are going to be in them, and I'm lucky that the tracks worked out the way they did, because I think it's different. Even if these races were shuffled around a little bit, I don't think it would be anywhere like I probably wouldn't have any chance. So I'm pleased that I was able to take advantage of this track lineup that worked in my favor.
Yeah, it worked out in your favor, and prove yourself you did here tonight. But before we'll let you go celebrate that championship, I'm sure you probably got a bottle of champagne, maybe you got to spray all over. But any shout-outs that you want to give to wrap this season up?
Well, first off, thank you guys for all you've done in the broadcast booth this season. It's been a pleasure. You guys always make this so much more fun. So thank you. I want to thank the admins of the league for all that they do, and there's a lot going on behind the scenes, and I appreciate them and all the time and effort that they put into it. But most importantly, from my perspective, From my racing perspective, I guess from a competitive point of view, I got to thank my teammates, DJ Weeks, Robert Hill Jr., Dylan Gooden. I mean, all three of them have been by my side all season. If we've helped each other, we work really well together. We came home with the team's championship a couple weeks ago. So for me, on that, another thing that was a successful point of view from a successful season, because that, the team is my team. I love this team. I love everything about what we have now, the drivers that we have, and these guys have stood by me, and I do my best to stand by them every week. And I can't thank them enough. I mean, DJ was coaching me. He missed the start of the second race, but made some laps, and he was coaching me and keeping everybody quiet on Discord, and just trying to keep me so that I could focus towards the end. And Dylan really worked with me throughout the season, and in this last race, just giving me some information. Robert too. I mean, Robert's always the fun guy. He's always got something funny or something fun, and I can't thank all of them enough. It wouldn't have been possible without them. The team's championship obviously wouldn't have been possible without them, and everybody did their part from that perspective. It was pretty even points scored per driver. So one fell out, another one stepped up and did their job. So it's been an incredible season. I can't thank them enough, and thank the league, the admins, my family, I guess too, because adjusting schedules and stuff to make sure that we're home, and I can go participate every once in a while, so then something else might come up. So I want to thank them too. And yeah, it's crazy that it's over, and I'm absolutely ecstatic and more relieved than I probably even believe right now that we're standing on the top step. Oh man.
Hey, John, I just gotta say, now that you're a champion, I never want to see you lose this emotion. It's been fun interviewing you week in, week out, especially this past month when you really started turning on. It's been a lot of fun, and never lose that. Never get used to, never lose that excitement when you get into victory lane. I love it.
I appreciate it. You guys are great. I mean, you always put it on a great interview too. So you always get the best out of me, and I'm just, it means a lot too, because myself and Vic had top moments throughout the season, just because we both obviously want the league to do well and everything, and we had different opinions and stuff like that. But it shows that I'm trying to show that I care and really put effort into the league in whatever way I can. So I'm ecstatic that I was able to come home with this, and it's incredible. I'm so happy. I'm really happy.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Johnny, we won't hold you any longer. We'll let you go out there and celebrate that championship, and awesome work, and we can't wait to see you try to defend that title in season 3.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, we appreciate you too, Johnny. Have a good one.
Yeah, you too. See you guys.
See ya. Johnny Eckert, season number 2 champion. How about that? You can see the emotion that was what was building up inside him, how excited he was to win this championship. It was an awesome sight to see. And again, a late season charge for that 90 truck to get himself into the position to go where he was today to be crowned season number 2 champ. Congratulations to all the championship 4. They put on a great show here tonight, dominated, putting themselves all right into the position where they had to be. It was an awesome sight, awesome race. Maybe the first race wasn't exciting as the second race, but it all came down to one of the more epic championships you'll ever see in any league out there, and that just proves the great product that Dallas Mayahan and Vic Bloom put on week in, week out here in the OSCA Truck Series. But with that, it won't be that much longer, a couple weeks yet until we get to season number 3 at Bristol Dirt. But we'd like to thank you all for tuning in on a weekly basis here on 3 Wide Television. And thanks you to Carlos as well to stepping aboard. And it's always been fun working with him week in and week out. But with that, we'll catch you next season for season number 3. For Carlos Acostas, I'm Mike Goodman. Thank you all for tuning in to this season of the OSCA Truck Series. And once again, congratulations to Johnny Eckert on winning season 2 championship here in the OSCA Truck Series. Until we'll see you on September 16th at Bristol. Till then, have a good night now.